Silicon Valley, technology, art, green, and sustainability.
Welcome to another episode of Silicon Valley Tech, Art, Green, and Sustainability. Today I have with me, actually this evening I have with me two gentlemen who are doing some great work in Silicon Valley with two associations, Chris Novak and Jerry Pohorsky. Pohorsky. I'm saying Pohorsky. I must be hungry right now. Thank you for joining me. And gentlemen, before we get started talking about the organizations, which I've attended several of your organizations. I haven't attended yours yet, but it's been on my list of things to do. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. Jerry, would you like to start?
Sure. Dobry den, jak se máš? That's Czech. That's my first language. English is my second language.
Wow.
My parents came over here and they were migrant farm workers and settled in North Dakota, and then that's where I was born. And then they moved to the LA area after they got out of the deal with the farmer. And then I used to play outside, and I learned some words like shut up, because when I talk Czech, people would tell me that. And then from TV, I learned things like when you're excited, you say, no money down. So I'll get to the no money down later when we're talking about hybrids. Anyway, about 11 in the morning, I would start crying for what seemed like no reason. Turned out it was the smog in the air that was making me cry. So my parents said, let's get out of here. There's no place to raise a kid. So they moved up to this area. And then I had a science project, a motor that I made. And so I got into the motors, and then my dad was...
When you were in high school, or?
Yeah, junior high.
Junior high.
My dad was a machinist, but he was studying a home study course from National Radio Institute on how to repair radios.
Wow.
So I was reading all the little booklets that he would get each week. They would send him a new booklet. So I learned about radios, and I was in Homestead High School in Sunnyvale, and I was in an electronic class with some guy you probably heard of, Steve Wozniak. So while I was at high school, we would be looking out over Mount Hamilton, but we couldn't see it most days. The Lick Observatory was kind of obscured by the smog. And then I learned that smog is caused to a large degree from cars. So I thought, yeah, I'd like to do something about this. So I got into the alternative car thing. I had a propane car for a while, and then an alcohol-powered car. And finally, when I was working at Sun Microsystems as an engineer.
So that's what your profession is, then?
Yeah, I'm an engineer.
And where did you go to school for engineering?
I took electronic engineering at Cal Poly.
Or was it the School of Wozniak? Just kidding.
No. He was a Berkeley dropout, it turns out. He got his diploma under the name Rocky Rococo or something like that, Rocky Raccoon. Anyway, I graduated from Cal Poly, and then after a while I went back to school and got a degree in computer science from Santa Clara University. Nevertheless, I'm working at Sun Microsystems, and I'm getting there around 9:30 in the morning, and there's no place to park. You know, like I'm miles away from the building. And then as I get to the building, there's this sign that says EV parking only. I said, I got to get me one of those EV things so I can park.
When was this? How long ago was this?
1999.
Let's pull up that first slide.
Yeah, that's me getting my first electric car.
There you are. With it, do you have tinted sunglasses on there? That's a
they
cool
do
photo.
They do get dark, you know, with the sun. Yeah.
Okay, so Saturn of Fremont, we could pull that down. That was your first.
First EV, and they took it away from me. I cried when I had to turn that thing in.
They took it away from a lot of people, didn't they?
Yes, there was a movie about that, Who'll Kill the Electric Car. I'm actually in that movie. Anyway.
I'm going to have to look for you next time I watch it.
Yeah, I'm in the Internet Movie Database.
Awesome.
But after that, I joined the Electric Auto Association to, you know, get over my withdrawal system or symptoms of electric cars, and eventually I became president, and have gone through many, many electric cars since then. Currently, the one I'm driving is a RAV4 from 2002.
Cool.
And
we'll see a picture of that in a minute. And
right,
so, Chris, tell us about your background and what you do when you're not running your other organization.
So should I start back in childhood, or I think I'm just going to fast
Whenever
forward.
You like.
No, this is great. I learned a lot of great things about Jerry that I didn't know, but I come to appreciate a lot more now. That's great. So basically, my involvement with electric vehicles started back in the automotive industry. I worked for Delco Remy, and we were headquartered in Anderson, Indiana. We supported the EV1 program, which was down in Indianapolis. I worked there as a battery engineer to start with.
So you worked in Indiana?
Yes.
Okay.
And so it was primarily more the starting lighting and ignition battery system for all the GM vehicles and for other even Japanese cars. So this is your standard lead acid battery, right? But still, learned a lot, got a lot of experience. We were cutting batteries apart, doing reliability studies, things like that. My background is mechanical engineering, and I got that in Wisconsin, where I was raised.
I thought both of you had a little bit of an accent. I wasn't quite sure. Now I know.
You betcha. So I also worked at Johnson Controls, which is in Milwaukee. They're a very big battery manufacturer as well, JCI. So that was my roots. And in fact, when I was at GM at Delco Remy, I also switched over to doing some electrical generator work and systems work as the whole. It gave me a good background in the power that we need to run electric vehicles and the reliability issues that come up with them. So would you like to know about how I started the club?
I'm interested in how you're with NVIDIA now. Who are you with now?
No, close, but maybe that's in my future.
Okay.
Don't know. So I work for a semiconductor high-tech company.
And how did that happen, the transition with,
So I've got an electrical background as well. I went to Cal Poly for an electrical, but I don't recall seeing you there, Jerry. Mine was later. So I do a lot of different things. I worked in aerospace, I worked in automotive, worked in biotech, work in high tech now and communications. So I do intellectual property as well. And when you do that, you have to be a jack of all trades.
Kind of move place to place, yeah.
Place to place, and just different clients have different technical needs at different times, which is why I went back to get some additional degrees. I was running out. So.
Cool. Okay, so your organizations, tell us about that, and how many people are in it, when you meet, what the mission is. I think we're starting with you for this one too, and let's pull up the first slide too for your organization. This is actually where you meet, which is a fantastic Indian restaurant. $11 all you can eat. Oops, I'm not supposed to mention money. But, we can do that because we're not selling anything. And then this was off down at the bottom there. Tell us about this. This was off the meetup group. It was a photo from the meetup group.
That was a little powered go-kart.
It's awesome. I want to drive it.
Yeah.
And so part of the mission is there on the right for folks too to read, or they can go to the website.
So we've tried to move the venue there is at Sneha Indian Buffet. It's basically in Sunnyvale, on close to Central Expressway and Lawrence Expressway. Easy to get to. At lunch hours, we meet third Thursday of the month, around 12 noon.
And other times too, sometimes, special events, yeah.
Right. We try and keep it the third Thursday just for regularity, but occasionally we'll jump around places here and there. I've suggested moving the venue to a different type of food, but at the risk of my own health.
I won't come.
Yeah, people love it.
I love that, and yeah, it's great.
It's fast food, it's on, the food is on all the time, so.
And how many people are in the group now? It's huge, right?
Yeah, it's an amazing group. You close your eyes, you go to bed, and it just keeps on growing. Yeah, so we got about 650 folks. We've been around for almost 5 years. We started only in December 2010, and how we got started was actually I was working at a law firm, working on intellectual property, and one of the partners at the firm, this is Legal Force, very innovative, creative guy, and he suggested, hey, Meetup is a great venue and a great vehicle, so to speak, for making groups and getting audiences. So he asked, what's your passion? And with my background in batteries and automotive, it was a natural. Plus there was just there's Silicon Valley has got all the innovation, so why not put it towards automotive, right? And with the sort of the collapse of Detroit and the restructuring of GM, I mean, this is a great opportunity for us in Silicon Valley to make some differences, and that's why our club is more of a focus on innovation.
Entrepreneurs. I'm going to pull up another slide too, which has, this is another couple things that was off the site that I thought was really great. Not related, one was from a different meetup.
So on the top is Lightning Motorcycles. That's their newest production motorcycle, which we just saw over at the EV Rally at De Anza College this past weekend. They're out of San Carlos. San Carlos,
okay.
Right. And they hold the current land speed record for electric vehicles. It's the fastest production electric motorcycle out there. It's just an amazing vehicle. I'll mention the price if you want, but
no,
okay.
Do that. But so, did you get to drive it? Is the question.
that they just had a static display.
Okay.
And those motorcycles are so fast. You want to be an experienced rider. And I am. I've ridden motorcycles, so that's probably going to be one of my future
But
purchases.
if you don't have that thing pointed perfectly straight, as soon as you give it any throttle, you're going to crash. You have to know what you're doing.
Well, and then so Jerry, let's hear about your organization too then.
The Electric Auto Association has chapters throughout the United States, some in Europe, one in Mexico, Canada, and so forth. I'm with the Silicon Valley chapter.